All right, Larry Kruger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a San Francisco Giant video. The Giants meet with Yamamoto. Are they going to land a guy that I think looks an awful lot like Tim Lincecum? We'll talk about it coming up next. But first, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Join us on Sunday, the 17th of December. We'll have a watch party during the Niners and Cardinals game at Pig and a Pickle in Corte Madera. Check us out. We'll be there from noon on Sunday. And of course, this video is also brought to you by Mojo Fantasy. I'm loving Mojo Fantasy. Check the link in the description. Use the promo code Krug, K-R-U-E-G, and they will match you up to your first $100. All right, let's talk a little Giants baseball. The Giants met with Japanese right-handed pitcher Yoshi Yamamoto Sunday, and this is according to a report from Buster Olney of ESPN. They're at least the third big market club to have an official meeting with Yamamoto in just over a week. The Yankees reportedly met with the 24-year-old righty. The Mets owner Steve Cohen flew to Japan recently and met with Yamamoto. Yamamoto's the reigning three-time NPB MVP and the Sawamura Award winner, which is kind of the equivalent of the Cy Young Award, except there's just one per league. It's not, one in the NL, one in the AL. They just have one, and he's won that award three times. So it's interesting. I mean, the Giants have been working on trying to sign Yamamoto, not for a day, not for a week, not for a month, not for a year, for several years. And we're not sure which of the Giant members did Buster meet with him. Was it Farhan? Did Bob Melvin meet with him? Giants owners? I don't know. I'm not sure. We don't know who made up the meeting group. Farhan Zaidi is the president of baseball operations. I would imagine maybe there was some representative from ownership that was present. A bunch of teams in the league, maybe as many as half the teams in the league, have shown interest in the former Oryx Buffaloes ace, who was posted for MLB clubs to bid on. According to The Athletic, the Giants are one of 7 clubs that are considered serious suitors for Yamamoto. The Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, Toronto, I believe, all and some unnamed teams were all believed to have shown serious interest in Yamamoto. The Dodgers, of course, just signed Shohei Ohtani to a precedent-shattering $700 million contract. But if you look into the details of that deal, $68 million a year of the, let's say, on average AAV of $70 million deferred money. So LA easily could go sign Ohtani and then turn around and sign Yamamoto and may. At this point, I would have to say that they're a major player in the Yamamoto sweepstakes. Now, we've heard we've heard a couple different things. We've heard that the Yankees and the Mets are, considered the front runners. I've also heard that Yamamoto prefers to be on the West Coast and that maybe that faults the Giants and or the Dodgers into the mix or maybe into the favored status. The Giants badly want to improve their pitching staff. Toronto badly wants to improve their pitching staff. The Yankees and Mets have been tied to Yamamoto for a while. And, the Giants under Farhan Zaidi have never signed a pitcher to over a 3-year deal. Now, they did give Logan Webb a 5-year deal, but in that deal, they bought out some of Logan Webb's would-be arbitration seasons as well. So it's not really a 5-year deal. The Giants opted to pass on re-signing Kevin Gausman, who signed a pretty reasonable 5-year deal with Toronto, and the Giants said, no, you can go there, despite the fact that they were the ones who kind of, reclaimed his career. I mean, he reclaimed his career in a Giants uniform. They signed him for a, very reasonable, low-cost deal, only to see him build his value and then jump to Toronto in a 5-year deal and then pitch well for Toronto. And now, in hindsight, that Gausman contract really looks very, very reasonable. So the Giants are well-positioned payroll-wise for Yamamoto. There's no question. Maybe more so than almost any other team, because the Giants only, between Logan Webb, Mitch Haniger, and Taylor Rogers, the relief pitcher, those are the only players that have guaranteed money beyond 2024. And the last two guys, Haniger and Rogers, are both off the books after 2025. Haniger technically could be sooner. He can opt out of the final year and $15.5 million of his contract next offseason, though I doubt he will, based on the fact that he's had tons of injuries and hasn't particularly played all that well. So he'll probably cash every penny of that deal before he leaves town. The Giants have struck out on big time free agents for years. They couldn't sign Stanton. They couldn't get Harper. They couldn't get Judge. They did sign Carlos Correa and then backed out. They couldn't get Ohtani. There's building pressure on Farhan Zaidi, who's now been the Giants general manager for 5 seasons, and the Giants have missed the postseason and finished 500 or worse in 4 of Farhan's 5 seasons. And the farm system, which supposedly was going to be just producing players left and right, outside of Patrick Bailey and Matos and Schmidt and Harrison, there's those guys have shown promise, but really only Bailey has been consistent. Everybody else is still very much a question mark and a work in progress. As far as the Giants, they badly want rotation help. They need innings. They need top end guys. They've got obviously Logan Webb as their ace. Alex Cobb is probably the only other guy that's really set in stone as a rotation member. And Cobb himself has some question mark because he's coming off of hip surgery and probably isn't going to be ready for the start of the year. Kyle Harrison's got a ton of potential. Giants love him, the former De La Salle star. But he also gave up an average of over 2.08 homers per 9 innings in his rookie year. Ross Stripling is a swing man who could start or work out of the pen. They've got DeSclafani, who's, Farhan signed him to the largest free agent pitching deal to date that he signed at 3 years and $36 million, and he didn't pitch well. He only pitched 99 and 2/3 innings in 2023 due to injuries. So there's also 25-year-old righty Keaton Wynn, but is he a starter? Is he a reliever? He had a 6.04 ERA in his first 5 Major League Baseball starts this last season. Good kid, though. I talked to him in spring training. So there's a lot of talk that Yamamoto is going to be in line for like a 7, 8, 9, maybe even a 10-year deal. So will the Giants be willing to give Yamamoto that kind of money and that kind of term, or are they going to pivot and try to go in a different direction with lower cost pitching and maybe throw money at guys like Cody Bellinger or Rhys Hoskins and Matt Chapman and go the hitting route? So that's really the question. Now, whoever signs Yamamoto is going to owe his former club a posting fee, which is equivalent to the sum of 20% of the contract's first $25 million. And then 17.5% of the next $25 million, and then 15% of any dollars after that point. So, give you an example. If you signed him to a $225 million contract, would cost the club who signs them an additional $35.6 million. So future money paid out via incentives or contractual options is also subject to that 15% rate. But Yamamoto is the guy that the Giants may want to extend for. He's got 3 straight Sawamura awards in Japan. He just posted a career high 1.21 ERA in 2023. He's only 25. He logged a sub 2.0 ERA in 4 of his past 5 seasons and struck out better than 27% of the batters he faced and has had a 5.7% walk rate. So in a lot of ways, if you say, well, I've never seen him, Krug, what does he look like? I spent hours watching this guy. He reminds me a ton of Tim Lincecum. Maybe he's kind of like a Tim Lincecum with better command. He's small. He's got a huge torque windup and a big step to home plate. He's got kind of a power arsenal of pitches that really almost doesn't make sense when you're looking at his frame. His frame says no way. that he would have this kind of arsenal, but he's got a killer fastball that's probably like 95 to 98 in that range, very heavy ball. And then he's got a killer splitter that just dives off the table. And he's got kind of a weirdo curveball that comes from that really looks like a unique pitch. So he's got 3+ pitches. There's a very good chance if the Giants signed Yamamoto that he would replace Logan Webb as the ace in their staff. He would probably be their best starting pitcher over Logan Webb. I think the Giants are all in on this guy, but the money's going to get really, really high. And with the Dodgers throwing $700 million at Shohei Ohtani, they may wind up throwing the biggest money at Yamamoto. And the Giants, who have sworn to not get outbid and have been in on this pitcher for a long time, we'll find out exactly what kind of offer they make, or we'll see if they can win a bid. I mean, the one thing that the Giants have not really shown is that they can win a bid for a top tier guy. Yamamoto is a top tier guy. And the Yankees want him, and the Mets want him, and the Dodgers want him. And can the Giants win a bid against those deep pocket teams at the top of MLB? We're going to find out. But I would. This is the guy that I would go for. To me, he reminds me a lot of Lincecum. If you sign him to a 10-year deal, you're getting him from age 25 through age 35. At least you're getting a player in the prime of his career. Now, how long will that power arsenal last? How long will that torque that Lincecum had? Lincecum had a short-lived prime. Let's be honest. He didn't pitch forever. He didn't have long-term, staying power. He just didn't. Does Yamamoto, is he, if he looks like Lincecum, is he going to have a similar career arc? It's very possible, but the Giants have a ballpark where, they're going to rely on pitching and defense, and Yamamoto could be win day. I think he would be a draw. I think he would be the ace of the staff. And I'd love to see them do it. I'd love to see them sign Yamamoto and Rhys Hoskins. And I wouldn't mind them getting the local kid from Sacramento, maybe go after a Cody Bellinger as well. But the Giants have said that they're going to land a major free agent. Heck, Mike Krukow, their broadcaster, said he would quit if they didn't land a premier free agent. And I think that they are really in it to win it on Yoshi Yamamoto. So we shall see. We shall see. Very interesting, and I would imagine we'll hear about some outcome on this in the next week to 10 days. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. Thanks to Mojo Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Check that link in the description. Use the promo code KRUG, KRUEG, and they'll match you up to your first $100. And thanks to all you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.